Brightest Blessings, this is Raven, and today we are going to be decorating a little folio that I've made. I've actually made 2 or 3. Based on the Tim Holtz Accordian Folio. I watched a video by Camellia Crafts. I will link her channel below on how to make your own version. So that's what I've basically done. And I've made a couple of different variations. So this was a longer one. I've already inked those, so they'll be the ones that I use first. And then I made this one, which is completely different. Still has the 2 spines. This side still has the pocket there, so that goes in like that. I haven't attached the bottom bit yet because I haven't decided what I want to do in here. And then this side, as opposed to splitting that in half and having this little triangular pocket or flip there, I decided I wanted it to be another little tuck, flip, and have something here as well. And then I would join these with brads. So first things first, I just want to apologise to anybody that was expecting a video from me yesterday that didn't get one. Basically, as many of you know, I'm going to be going to a pagan camp in roughly 4 or 5 days' time. And I have been solidly working on journals and, you know, books of shadows and various other things. And although I finished what I wanted to accomplish to take to camp, I've still been making extras just because I enjoy making things. But because I've had the dogs, obviously we got Dolly this time last week, and she settled in really, really well, but it means that I have to constantly observe them for now, just to make sure that they are getting on okay and that there's no funny business going on. She has actually come into heat, so we're having to separate them as and when. They're both being watched right now so that I can come and film, and she will be coming to camp with me. Douglas will be staying here with his dad. So yeah, the next video you'll see from me will be from the camp, showing you my stall. You can meet Dolly, you might see my girls playing, we might have a little wander around and just see what we can see. But yes, apologies for that. I just didn't get round to it yesterday. What with messing around, getting stuff ready for camp, doing normal household chores, sorting the shopping and all that sort of thing, and then constantly monitoring the dogs has been a bit overwhelming. I haven't actually done all that much crafting in the last week because I've been so overwhelmed with that. So yeah, I watched this video last night and I decided, right, I'm just going to make one. Which one do I want to do? I think we'll go with the little one. Now, many of you may not realise, but I am a bit of a hoarder, as most craft people are, and I hoard Tim Holtz 12x12s because they don't make them anymore. So I have loads and loads and loads, and yeah, this is like 1/4 of the pile that I'm showing you, because they're just so fantastic for all sorts of journals. Now, I wanted to make like a grungy gentleman's folio for this first one, and then use Tim Holtz and make a girly style vintage one. So we've got a couple of different packs here that I want to use, and then I've also got like the Tim Holtz people, and I've got some of these smaller ones as well, which work perfectly in the smaller book. So I think I want to use probably memorandum, and possibly some of the French industrial. So the rest of it can just go to the side here. for a second while we have a look. Oh, I haven't even opened this one. Where's the open one? Duh, I already had it out. So there's a couple of sheets missing from this, but that's fine. So isn't he marvellous? Do you know, he might be better. Still a little bit. Darn, that's annoying. He would have been fabulous on, like, the cover or something. But I don't really want to cut any of him off because I think it will look a bit odd. We'll see, we'll see. I haven't decided. As I look through, if I see more that would suit the taller one, we'll go with the taller one. So these papers are great, and these are fantastic for putting in books of shadows as well because they're all vintagey. They're really good as backing pages, and then you can paste coffee dyed paper or, you know, whatever on the top with your bits of information. Like old letters and things. So I'm just going to give you a little quick overview of some of the pages that are in the two packs that I'm going to use, in case you've never seen them before. Because quite often when you see them advertised, you just see like this main, you just see this bit, and they're tiny little images. So it's not always easy to decide if you want to use them or not, if it's something you're going to use, especially if you're, you know, just watching this from a Book of Shadows pagan point of view. These papers might not be of any use to you. I love that. Old advertisements, ledger, cool music. And then they essentially, with the Tim Holtz pads, they do the 12 by 12, and then they do a 12 by 12 sheet of 6 by 6s, and then towards the back there's normally, I don't know if there is, yeah, towards the back they then have even smaller versions. So you can see here there's lots of smaller versions of these that you can make pockets and tags and things out of. So that's that one that we said we're going to use, and then we said memorandum, didn't we? We're not going to use the ideology. This one I know I've used. There's probably pages missing. This one is probably my favourite out of all of them, to be honest. Let's see, he's lush. He might be the one that goes on the front if I use the smaller one. I thought by making a gentleman style one, it might be of use to somebody that wants to give it as a gift to a man, or perhaps to go in their Book of Shadows, to do with ancestor information. You could put all your ancestors' information in there, and that would look quite nice. I actually have my little ancestors journal. It's just a small one, and that's all vintage stuff like this. So yeah, lots of nice things in here that we can use. So, Raven, what are we going to use? You're probably all shouting at me, use that one, use that one. Do we do the big one and him, or the smaller one and him? To be fair, they look like the exact same man, don't they? It's just he's a little bit older. I think we're going to use him. So we'll take this sheet off. The only downside I find to the Tim Holtz papers is that they are double-sided, which for some is good if you're going to use this as a journal page or a Book of Shadows page, because it's already decorated. However, sorry, just had to have a sip of my drink. If you're like me and you like both sides and you're going to be gluing them down, that makes it a little bit more difficult, doesn't it? So, this is obviously my cover, and this is who I want on the cover. So what I'm going to do is is just do a little pencil line either side, just so that I can make sure they line up. So then when I cut them, I can see what I'm doing. You know, I hoard all my scraps as well, so all of these will be made into other things. Just under there, because we don't want it right at the top. So these would make lovely tags too. That would make an excellent big tag, and you can just decorate it. So we've got some fun scraps. Now, where was the line on here? I bet I've cut it off, haven't I? Oh, Homer Simpson moment. Sorry if I end up going off camera. Because I film everything on my phone, I only have a certain distance, and if I put it too high, you won't see any of the details. So we've got that now. I want some distress inks. Just double check that he's going to fit on here nicely, and I don't need to trim him anymore, because I still want to see some of the, yeah, I'm going to need to take a little bit more off there. 2 seconds. So that we still see the inking. Sorry if my head gets in the way. And I might just take a smidgen off the edge. Perfection. What I am going to do is just, my cutter's not quite gone through it there. There we go. Move that out of the way. Excellente. So he's going to go on there. Let's ink him up. So how have you guys all been doing? I've missed filming and spending time with you guys. It's been a bit manic. I think I'm taking 45 full journals, about 600 cards that I've made, art prints that I've done, various things. Honestly, never ending. Lovely. Now, before I start gluing, I want to think about how I want this to close. Which, to be honest, I think is probably just going to be a bit of twine or something. Yes. So, let's glue him down. And we have the start of our little folio. So I've never purchased the Tim Holtz accordion book. I've wanted to, but it's never really been at a price that I've been able to afford. So, I mean, they're not massively expensive at all, but I only have a set limit that I can spend on craft things, so I would rather spend the money on getting glue or what have you. Let's just make sure that he's well glued down, Mr. Man. I have lots of other Tim Holtz stuff that we can add to this, like the Tim Holtz snippets and the Tim Holtz people. But for today, I just want to get this covered and then go from there. What I do want to do, oh goodness, is get my stamps, sorry. Stamps. Oh, in the wrong case. Because what I want to do, let me find, get a book page. Get a couple. What I want to do is stamp on these. There we go. Let's go with a black just for some contrast, if I can open it. Now, the idea is that this isn't going to be perfect, okay? So if you look at it and then you think, well, Raven, I've got this the right way up, haven't I? Yes. Yeah, if you look at this and think, well, Raven, you haven't done that particularly well. I don't want it to be perfect. That's sort of the point. I'd like a number of some sort, I think. Where's my... Just because that'll be a bit easier. She says, and then sticks it upside down. I don't want it to be perfect, but I do want you to be able to see things that are the right way. A little postmark one. Again, doesn't have to be perfect. Yes, liking that. So let's do the same again for this one. We'll stamp that off. Let's do part of a big number. And although this one's got flowers on it, I want the like newspapery edge. Perfect. Let's get a filed. Excellent. We'll just get a bit of this text again. Again, not looking for perfection, just looking to stop that being quite as plain. So you see now, I mean, I could have used washi tape or something. I might put a little bit more on that one. I like how filled this one is. Where's that newspapery one gone? Yep. Lovely. And then I might as well do this little one down here as well. Just because I can. Lovely. Excellente. That'll do, that'll do. Marvellous. Loving it. Right, let's put these away because otherwise I'm going to end up having no space to do anything. And this one, as I've used that much, they don't stick anymore. One of your questions that I've seen a lot recently is what do I use the money for when I get paid on Patreon, or the super thanks that you can click down below at the bottom of the video, where you can, you know, like or comment or whatever. There's little things, and there should be one with a thumb up saying super thanks, or just thanks, or a love heart and a thanks. Basically they're cash donations. And the same with Patreon, although Patreon is a subscription, so you pay it monthly. And all of the money that I get on both of those go towards craft stuff, because as you know, craft stuff is expensive. So yeah, last month was the first full month of Patreon, and I managed to get myself some of the Tim Holtz stamps, which was amazing. This month, sorry, I haven't bought anything with it yet. I'm waiting until after camp. So yeah, once I'm back from camp, that is when I will be purchasing something new for my stash to be able to use. Oh dear, right. So for this outside bit, we've obviously got these scraps, which we can find places for if we want to use them. And I'm wondering if I want, I think I do, to be honest. Yeah, it's going to want cutting about there. A little smidgen off. Yeah. So, as I said, we're just going to do the covers for today, or cover for today. We'll see how well we're doing with time. I'm not going to be making the decorations and stuff for inside it just yet. But I will be. It'll just have to be after camp, so in a couple of weeks' time. Get that on there, line it up a little bit. Lovely. So this is nice and plain now on the back, so if I wanted to add another pocket or something, I could do. Just make sure that this is definitely going down. I don't want it popping off. So that is essentially the outsides, yeah, because these are all on the inside. Although I suppose that bit is on the outside too, so we should really cover that with the same sort of paper, I'm thinking. One of these fit nicely. I think this is too thin, isn't it? What about this? Ooh, yes, look at that. Right. I'm going to want to take about there and about there. Sorry I have to keep going off for cutting, guys. It's just a little bit easier than me bumbling through trying to cut everything. And to be honest, it's not that interesting for you, is it, watching me use my cutting That'll do nicely. Ambulance is going past. We'll see if Douglas hears it. Douglas likes to howl or sing to ambulances and ice cream men. No, he's obviously asleep and not heard it. I should think so too. Nana and Grandad have visited this morning. Grandad is his second favourite person in the whole entire world because he plays bally with him all the time. So Grandad's been out in the rain throwing the ball for him. So he should, in theory, be knackered now, which is one of the reasons why I said to my partner, I'll come and film now while it's quiet. And Dolly's really good. She likes to just sleep the day away, bless her. There we go. Make sure that's well glued down. What's going on up there? That's going to annoy me. Just get the little knife. That was better. A little bit just hadn't come off again. I think I need a new blade on my cutter. So there we are. That's the outside. So that's what you're going to see. Now, obviously, at the moment, because there's nothing in it, it's all a bit sort of ugh and floppy. But it does sit nicely once you've got everything into it, I promise. That looks fantastic. That's our side and our back. That side. So, on the inside now, I don't know if I want to make that a pocket or just a flip. We will see. I do know that I want to put something in the top of here, but I need to make sure that it's going to be wide enough, which that isn't. So let's pick some different paper. Let's go back to this one. I'm thinking this is going to be like a men's field note journal. So although that wasn't particularly what I was going for, I'm actually thinking that might be the best option. With notes and various things. No, there's nothing in there I want to use. Let's look in the other one. I'm quite liking that. It's a shame that that's there, although I could cut it that side. Let's go with that one. Come on out. There we go. I'm taking the whole project with me. So the idea is that I want this stamp to be at the top. So let's just cut up there for now. Sorry, clanging and crashing all over the place. And then we can see. Let's cut across that bit. There we go. Just there. Oh, a little bit more. Smidgen more. Now it's there, I don't like it. was that long piece? I like that one better. And I still haven't decided if I want this to be like a tuck or not. I think probably a pocket. Right, let's give this a trim. I'm going to cut it to there, and then what we'll do, we'll put that like that. Then when this is folded over, if it's going to be a pocket, which obviously is what I said I wanted, sorry guys, my head's probably in the way, is I'm going to put some washi along there. So let's just ink that side and that side, because that's all you're going to see. Get that in. It's a bit wet and miserable here in the UK today, especially where I am in Worcestershire. I'm hoping it's going to clear up ready for camp. It's supposed to. But camp is over in Wales, so the weather is bound to be very different there to what it is here. It's a few hours away. Lovely jubbly. I'm going to just glue on that edge. Put my lid on. I'll just use my little bone folder just to make sure that's well squidged down. Washi tapes I've got loads of, but I want to cover this first. And this is why I end up with loads of scraps, because I end up putting half a dozen papers on. I really want this map, I think. Do I want the map or do I want... Actually, I think I want this. Make your mind up, Raven. Got 70 billion bits of scraps now. But that's fine because they'll all go to make tags and things. Right. But what I'm going to do, because that's angled, this is going to be a bit of a pain in the bum to cut because it's angled, and because I could have really drawn around it first, couldn't I? But no matter. Yeah, so that's going to be like that. That's going to be cut to about there. Perfect, because we're going to be putting washi tape there, so I don't want it right the way to the edge. So I hope you're crafting along with me today. What are you guys up to? Are you crafting? Are you working on your book of shadows? Are you falling asleep? I've had a few people say they listen to me when they're falling asleep, which is hilarious. If that's the case, sleep well. Let's go around the edge of that there. And there. That's the bit I want to use. Where's the scissors? So if I quite often end up doing this as well, I end up with little scraps of washi tape because it's not the bit that I want to use. So we want there to about there. Now, I would normally use glue stick as well with these, but I've run out. And I refuse to buy anything else now until after camp. Because if I buy anything else, I'll just be sat crafting with those instead of doing the bits that I want to do. Sorry if my head gets in shot, guys. I just want to make sure that this bit is lined up because it's on the slant. Get my little knife. I'm just going to trim, as she says. Oh, my knife's decided it doesn't want to work. Just going to trim along that bottom edge there. So there we have that side, and then I was going to say this other little triangular piece could go there, which it still could if I wanted to, but I quite like this, so I might just put a Timmy person there. Where are my Timmy people? Timmy peoples. We don't want ladies, we want gentlemen's. Oh dear. Little lad. Creepy twin boys. I think some of these were supposed to be from the Halloween collection. He could go somewhere. I quite like him and his moustache. There he is. There he is. I knew I'd got him somewhere. Please tell me he's going to fit on there nicely. Oh my gosh, look at that. Well, that's settled that, hasn't it, really? That has settled that. Oh dear. Go around his edges. What do we think his name is, guys? I've got to give him a name. We'll have to find something there for him to have his hand on. What are we going to use? Oh, maybe I might have a Tracy Fox label that could go on there. Let's have a look at my labels. Definitions, no, we don't want, well, they're nature definitions though, which I don't think, no. Don't want those. Random labels, the fabric ones. So these are Tracy Fox labels. I'll try and link her shop below. I think the fabric ones are all going to be a bit too girly. Meh. Let's have a look. Because what I'm thinking is if I put the label on, it can look like he's holding the label. I quite like to layer these up. The red doesn't quite match, does it? Where did the New York go? There. Oh, I hear puppies. Hello. Go and lie down. Drink first. I don't know, guys. I just don't know. Reading of journal. I've decided that's the one I want. Maybe they're a bit samey, aren't they? That's the problem. I don't think I've got a longer red one that I can use that would look right. Dolly Bobs, come on. Good girl. Good girl. Will lie down. Right, let's just put a little mark where his hand is. So we want it to be about there, don't we? Right, let's just get on with it, because otherwise I'll be here all day trying to pick one label. Douglas, no thank you. I don't mind if it goes under him a bit. Like that. Right, let's put him on. Where did I put him? There he is. dear, excuse me. Right, go around this edge. And what I want to do is just put that by his hand. Perfect. Perfect. Right, let's get rid of all of these. This took me days in fussy cutting because I always have to print 2 or 3 of each one to make sure I've got plenty. So then I've got stuff to work with. I can now no longer see any of my desk bar what you can see because everything is stocked up. Right, so lovely. We're getting there, guys. So obviously this isn't going to go in there, but that's just to show you that that's going to be the pocket there, okay? And we've got our little chap, who I'm pretty sure is the same person. They look the same, don't they? LP Hoffner. They look the same, but he looks a little bit older. He's a merchant tailor. So perhaps LP Hoffman will call you Lawrence. Do we think that's a good name? Lawrence. Right. Now for this side. I really like to use a variety of pages and not just the same thing. Otherwise it gets very, very tedious. Let's go with that. Do we think? Yeah, that's a bit plain. What other bits did we have? Is that the same? It's the same bit of paper. From the same bit of paper. But I'm mindful of the fact that there's a lot of flowers on there. But if we're putting a pocket or something over, that will be fine. So I'm thinking there. Oh, she's off. Sorry, cluttering. Yeah, like that. Let's get a bit of ink. Move the washi out of the way. So this is why I like to have things organised, guys, because otherwise everything would be out all the time, and I tend to mass make, as you know. So because I'm doing a Tim Holtz one now, once I've finished filming with you guys, I will probably do a few more Tim Holtz things before I put it all away. What are you two doing? Dolly! She's after the child. Lewis! Sorry for shouting, guys. Lily! No. No answer. She's probably got her headphones on. Lovely jubbly. We want to put something on that a little bit. Cut that there. Oh, darn, I've done it too short. Tip of the out. Douglas. There we go, like that. Yes, I quite like that. Darken that up. There we go. Now, here she comes. She's after you, Lils, but I'm still filming, so... Slide that onto that. Now, I purposely didn't ink that bit because I wasn't sure whether I was going to have it as a flip. But instead of inking it, I might just put some more of that type of tape. No, I'm going to have to ink it because it's just going to annoy me otherwise. There we go, right. Too small. We probably could have stamped on that piece as well, couldn't we? We might have to do that as well in a minute then. Quarter me trim up. Oh dear. It's not straight. It's so frustrating when you've got a paper trimmer and you still can't seem to manage to cut things straight. That's better. Except, it's done it again. I definitely need a new blade. Glue this down, and then we've just got these two pieces to do, and maybe some more of that stamping on the inside. And the only reason I didn't stamp on the inside when we were doing the stamping is because I wasn't sure whether I was going to cover them or not. Marvellous. Let's move things out of the way. Right, I can go in the bin. So we've got that flippy, and then this is quite thick in here, so this is where I was thinking about putting a little journal. Attaching it, putting a signature in here, having it under there, then this can flip over and have a little pocket there, perhaps a little pocket there. This side, and we hadn't decided whether this was going to be a flip or not, or a pocket. I think a pocket, to be honest. So just to make sure. Yeah. Right, let's see what pages we've got left now. I'm wary of the fact inside of that line. Most of that is going to be covered anyway by this, so all we're going to have is that. I'm not sure I like the blue. I might like that better. Yeah. All trial and error, guys. All trial and error. That's better. I want it cut to that line. Got a doggy by my feet. And a dolly having cuddles on the bed with Lils. Right. Not going to bother inking that other side because we're not going to see it. It's going to be under the pocket. Make sure that that is well glued down. So we don't need to cover this bit because that's going on there. My hair's all over the place, molting. So now we want a nice piece for there, and I'm thinking perhaps this, so that it matches with that. Cut up that line. Just for that line, I think. Excellente. I'm going to have to ink this again in a second anyway, because I shall want to put a notch in this before we glue it down to make the full pocket, but it is much easier to glue this on and then do the notch. Make sure it's the right way up. Where is my little notch maker gone? There, I really want the little one. Roughly the middle. And then we can just ink that bit. And then we can glue these two sides down. She says, "Are you blocked?" Yes, she was blocked. Well, she can go away now. I'll shove that back up there. Well, that's setting for a second. Let's have a little tidy up. So we've been left with quite a few scraps, and that's fine because, as I said, a lot of these will go into making tags and journal cards and things. And I've got some little strips for clusters. Just put my inks away. So I tend to carry this little tub with me to the bed when I'm not feeling great. I want to keep that out because I want to use that with that, so we'll keep that there. Right, we want those stamps back, don't we? Let's maybe use this one. This was one of the sets that I bought with the Patreon money. Let's do this little inside bit first. And I'm being mindful here, I don't want all of the big stuff. So that's that. Where did it go? I'll get my favourite little magazine one out. Oh dear, excuse me guys. Lil, she's trying to get in your bedroom. Jenny! What do I do for that one? Come on, you little rascal. Get out of there. I actually don't mind this bird being on here. Take them downstairs, please.
Well, they can come in if I block the stuff off.
Excellent. Oh, I don't mind that it's gone over a little bit. It's just added a little bit of interest there. Where did that's the one I'm looking for. That will do nicely. So guys, that's it for today. In the next video, crafting video, because obviously the next one will be camp, we will decorate some more and perhaps add tags and various different things. Okay, so hopefully I'll see you at camp. I want to say a big thank you to MVP46 who sent super thanks. Very much appreciated. Thank you very much. As I said, all of those pennies that you send go straight back into crafting, so that then I am able to do more with you guys and it really is appreciated. As usual, all my links are below for Patreon, for Etsy and Facebook. I will also link Camellia Crafts Designs, who inspired the video, and there was somebody else I was going to mention. I thought, who did I say I was going to mention? I now can't remember. It was 100% Camellia Craft Design, so I will link her channel below. A big shout out to Julie, she's amazing. She lives up in Yorkshire, here in the UK. So it's nice that we've got some locals, as it were. It seems to be mainly Americans, I find, that do the crafting side of things, although there are quite a few Brits. Now, right, I will love and leave you and see you in the next video. Goodbye.